Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com, and today we finally got the XFL revealing every team's new uniform for the XFL 2023 startup. That means we finally got to see what the St. Louis Battlehawks uniforms will look like in 2023, and I'm going to react and give my opinion on the uniform. So, first of all, I'll say I'm not surprised that they changed the uniform drastically. I'm not surprised that it looks different because the way that The Rock and Redbird Capital has kind of handled this XFL restart so far, they've made it abundantly clear that they plan to do things a little bit differently, that this isn't going to be a carbon copy of the 2020 XFL. Now, I do want The Rock and the XFL this time around to keep most of the things that made the 2020 XFL great, because a lot of people forget that the 2020 XFL was successful. Like, it was succeeding, but COVID killed it. And so I didn't want them to go too far from what was working back in 2020. And the uniforms are no exception when it comes to that discussion. Now, obviously, uniforms aren't going to be a very big factor when it comes to the league's success. It's not like people aren't going to watch the games because of the team's uniforms, but it's important that you keep the uniforms, mostly similar to what they were the first time, given that the Battlehawks were one of, if not the most popular teams from the last XFL, and the fans loved the uniforms, and the XFL Battlehawks helmet was one of the best things about that 2020 Battlehawks uniform. And all I'm saying is that if you stray too far from what made the Battlehawks great the first time, or what made some of those other XFL franchises great and why fans were interested in them, they're going to look at what you're doing this time and say, you know what, I don't like what they're doing with this league. And you know what, I'll be honest, those were my initial thoughts when I first saw this Battlehawks uniform. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan, and it's mostly because of what they decided to do with the helmet. I just have to start with the helmet because, they totally and completely changed it. Not only did they change the main color of the helmet, they changed the design of the helmet, and, okay, first of all, it's gray. I don't know why they're trying to go with gray when it comes to the Battlehawks. Like, they're trying to make gray one of their main colors, and honestly, I'm fine with the color gray, and they have a gray alternate uniform in the uniform reveal that you'll see in this video, but I don't think we needed to make the entire helmet gray. Their main color is blue. Everyone loved the blue helmets, and the Battlehawks logo was fantastic on the old helmet. Like, there was nothing that needed to be changed about that. And this new helmet with the little, I'm assuming it's supposed to be a wing, right? But the wing that is on the helmet, you can barely see it, and it doesn't look anything like the wings that are part of the actual Battlehawks logo, which is located by the left pant leg on the uniform pants. It's just odd to me how you have the logo that the Battlehawks used last time in XFL 2020, yet you used a totally different design and or logo on the helmet. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs, for example. Their logo is the arrowhead. That's what's on the helmet. Why didn't you put the old Battlehawks logo that was on the helmet before on the helmet? What is this new, wing thing? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I can't appreciate that they tried to make it a little bit simpler, and I'm thinking that's maybe why they went in this direction, is because, yeah, the design of the old Battlehawks was pretty elaborate, and this simple wing, it's simplistic looking. It does look sharp, I'll give it that, and it's not even an ugly helmet. It's not a bad helmet, but the other one was so much better, and you didn't need to change it. All in all, I think this helmet will grow on fans a little bit, and again, it's not bad. It's a sharp-looking helmet, like I said. I think fans are definitely going to be disappointed, and they're not going to let go of the fact you changed the old helmet when it was perfect the way it was. Now, as for the actual uniforms, the jerseys, and the pants, I'm actually a pretty big fan of what they did with them. First of all, these are more simplistic, of course. That I think that's definitely what they were trying to go for. They were trying to get rid of they were trying to get a lot of the extra stuff that was on a lot of the old XFL uniforms that just made it look, very WWE-ish, for lack of a better term. And I do like that because it makes the league look more professional. I think that's definitely reflected in these new Battlehawks uniforms. They're very simple. I do really like the gray uniforms. I'm not a huge fan of the gray helmet. I wish they had just kept the blue helmet. But the gray uniforms, they are divine. Both uniforms are pretty simple. It's just got St. Louis written across the chest, or Battlehawks on the alternate gray uniform, with the XFL and Under Armour logos on each shoulder. And the numbers are, of course, in the middle of the jersey, and it's a very futuristic looking font. I like the font that they use for the numbers. And then it's just a singular stripe over by the shoulder pads, with numbers on the sides of the shoulder pads as well. Nothing too crazy. I really like them. I like the look of these. They got rid of some of the extra details that were on the old Battlehawks uniforms, like the old blue ones that they had in XFL 2020. The shoulders had 2 stripes on the side, and they were like gray and black, and it kind of didn't really go with the rest of the uniform. I didn't like the flow that it had with the rest of the uniform. I much prefer these singular solid colored stripes on each shoulder. I do also really appreciate the fact that they decided to put the numbers on the shoulders as well. Makes it look a little bit more like NFL jerseys when they do that, and goes into that point that I was talking about, at how they're trying to go for more of a professional look with these uniforms. I really do like that they added the numbers on the shoulders. Both sets of pants for this uniform also have one solid stripe going down the middle. On the blue one, it's one solid white stripe, and then on the gray uniform, it's one solid blue stripe going down the sides of the pants. Again, just really simple. I'm a big fan of these uniforms. I think they look really nice, and something that some people might not appreciate that I do is the material that they use for these uniforms. Under Armour did a good job with these. The old XFL uniforms were more of that breathable mesh. It kind of looked like a high school uniform, a high school jersey. These ones, a lot more went into making them, in my opinion, this time around. I also do like the Battlehawks logo that they added to the pants. It's a nice little touch having the logo somewhere there on the uniform, especially since they're not using the old helmets anymore. You got to put that Battlehawk logo somewhere, and I think right there on, kind of by the waistline of the pants, right below the waistline, that's a really good spot for it. It's not overdoing it or anything like that, but it still, represents the Battlehawks in a great way. Overall, I like the uniforms. I'm still sad and disappointed they decided to change the helmet as much as they did. I know a lot of people are too. I'm sure most are going to agree with me on that. That said, the helmets don't look bad. The uniform looks fantastic in my opinion. And while the helmets aren't the ones that we all wanted to see come back, I think the new one will really grow on people. And I do like the matted gray color that they use for the helmets, at least, even if they're, I wanted it to be blue, but if they're going to make it gray, at least they're doing their best to make it look good. I think there's a huge step up in quality to the actual uniform in XFL 2023 as opposed to XFL 2020. I just know we're all disappointed that they didn't use the same helmet from last time, but I do like these uniforms. I don't hate them. I'd probably give them a 6.5, 7 out of 10 though. I'm curious to hear from you guys though. What do you think of these new Battlehawks uniforms? And what are some of your thoughts on the other XFL uniforms that were revealed today? I didn't really talk about them since this is just a Battlehawks channel, but curious your guys' thoughts on those. But yeah, all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Battlehawks fans can find this, and make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com. And I'll see you all in the next one.